Welcome to PSP eRally. Please feel free to post your question using the Q&A function on Zoom or comments on Facebook Live. In your question, you may like to identify yourself and which constituency you are in. All right, and without further ado, I shall now hand over to our moderator, Mr. Craig Teo, to kickstart our second eRally session. Craig, over to you.
Thank you very much there, Grace, for doing the voiceover. Hi, very good evening, everyone who's joining us on the Zoom webinar and on Facebook Live. My name is Craig, and I'm very happy that you have taken time off from your busy schedules on a Saturday night to spend time with us. And especially, I'd like to say hello to all the residents and the voters who are staying in Nee Soon, because tonight you will be meeting the team that is from PSP that will be standing in Nee Soon GRC. And joining them as well, we have the candidate from PSP who is going to be in Yio Chu Kang SMC as well. So we have a nice team all lined up for you this evening. Before I introduce them to you, I think most of you in Nee Soon will know them by now because they have been doing their walkabouts. And today they did it in convoy style, okay? In the pickups that had the speakers that made a lot of noise talking about the thing, and they were just going a bit crazy today. But it was great fun for many of them, and the reception that they've received from all the residents in Nee Soon GRC. So before we just get down to the show proper, I'd just like to let everyone know tonight, this is the second e-rally because of COVID-19. We are not able to have live rallies, physical rallies, because of the dangers of COVID-19. So we have to resort to using Zoom and Facebook Live to reach out to the voters that are going to make a decision. Do you still maintain the status quo and let the incumbent have a super majority in parliament? Or are you going to let these people, this really nice bunch of people, represent you in parliament and really let them speak up for you, rather than to let the other side, who are sometimes falling asleep in parliament or don't even show up? Okay, now let's get down to a little bit of things here. For those of you, because there have been many requests by members of the public who wants to support us and buying our PSP merchandise, and can I request my tech people to please put up the slide so that they know where they can go and pick up the PSP merchandise. And there you have it, folks. It's on the screen right now. We are selling our lovable Otica Otter mascot for $30 each. If you buy two, it's going to be $50. We have our caps at $10 each and our round neck t-shirts at $15. And this is at Marina Square Shopping Mall at 02332 at a shop called Passions, where they sell a lot of antique watches. This is where the site of Pan Pacific Hotel is, because Marina Square is quite a big place. So it's at the site that's nearer to Pan Pacific Hotel. And they're open daily from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. So if you want to give us some support and buy our merchandise and help us to raise funds for our GE campaign, which is ongoing right now, there'll be a good place to go and pick up some of these items. And talking about donations, I'd like to flash the slide right now, if we can, to show the people, if they want to support PSP, this is how you do it, okay? You have the QR code on the right-hand side of your screen. You can scan it and it'll bring you to our website where you can make a donation online, or you can use PayNow. And for PayNow, the number is T19 SS, SS0061, England, Holland, Osaka, London. So it's not 55, it's T19 SS0061, England, Holland, Osaka, London. I guess the easiest way is for you to just take a screenshot so you can have these things. And you can also write a check to Progress Singapore Party. And on that, you have to put your name, your contact number, and your email as well. Mail it to Progress Singapore Party, 170 Upper Bukit Timah Road, Hex 14-04, Bukit Timah Shopping Centre, 588179 is the postal code. And can my tech people please flash the one about the where ELD's requirement that Singaporeans have to put in their name and contact number. Talking about the GE campaign, only Singaporeans can make donations to political parties, okay? This is to prevent outside interference, you know, so that they can then manipulate or whatever the results of a GE. So we want to avoid that from happening. So under the Political Donations Act, PSP needs to maintain a record of all donations. The Elections Department, bracket ELD, has informed us that this is that this record keeping requirement, including the provision of contact numbers, supersedes the confidentiality provisions under the Personal Data Protection Act, otherwise known as PDPA. So we give you an assurance that PSP will ensure that all information provided in this is kept strictly confidential. So once again, just to help you all understand, you want to make a donation to PSP, firstly, you must be over 21 years of age and you must be Singaporean. So hope that is clear and don't wonder, hey, why you're asking me for my mobile phone? Okay, ELD, their rule supersedes the PDPA thing that's happening tonight. And we also have got what do you call it? We have done a Teochew dialect video, which has gone pretty viral. If you haven't received it by now, something must be not right, huh? Because we have produced a video which is in dialect base, which is to reach out to the pioneer generation, those who are in their 70s and 80s. So for those of you who have access to this, it's been going crazy on WhatsApp and through Facebook as well. Please show this to your akong and your ama to let them understand some of the issues that we Singaporeans are facing in the Singapore of today. Many of them still very much in love with the legacy of the first generation of leaders in Singapore. So this was a Sing Ming article which appeared yesterday talking about how PSP has used dialects to reach out to the pioneer generation so that they are able to be connected to the issues of today that we are facing. Okay, so we have done enough of that. You want to look for this video, you can go on PSP's Facebook or my personal video, my personal post on Facebook as well. I think we have hit like 60 over 1,000 views on these things here. So it's not too bad. Huh? So for those of you that want to download, I'm sure you can ask your friend, they can send it to you by WhatsApp. It's easier. Then you go and show to your grandparents, your parents who may not have access to the internet or not familiar with the process. Oh, without further ado now, it gives me great pleasure to bring on the team again. I have all of them on screen. Please start your videos. Team Nee Soon and Team Yio Chu Kang. I so far have Damien, I have Brad, I have Kayla, and where are the rest of my good people? Here they come on, and that's Nala. I'm seeing on my screen right now, and I still have 3 more, I think, or 2 more. Yeah, I still need to have Taufik and Kala. Where are you? Okay, here comes Kala, and
Hi.
where's the handsome-looking dude? You know, the one who did boxing with his wife. Where is he? Where is he? Where is Taufik? Taufik, we need you on screen, please. Where are you? Hello, Taufik. Earth calling Taufik. Please come on soon.
You need to play
And
the
while we're
Rocky
waiting for
song.
Taufik to come on, I'd just like to let all the residents, especially in Nee Soon and Yio Chu Kang, thank you, Taufik. Good to see you. All of the candidates actually have done a interview, of course, conducted by yours truly here. I've done a one-on-one interview with all of them, whereby all the candidates here, let me reply their name when I call your name so that people know who you are. Damien, can you please raise your hands, Damien? So they know who you are. That's Damien, all right? Damien is there, lovely. Next person is Nala. Can I have Nala raise your hands, please? Spell Nalla. That's Nala. And I also have, of course, the one that don't really need an introduction, Brad Bowyer. Brad, raise your hands, please. He's the only Ang Mo. But a lot of you who think that, hey, what is this Ang Mo, this Caucasian guy, right? What is he doing in Singapore politics? He has been here since the 1980s. Go and watch the up close and personal videos, and you will learn a lot of things about each and every one of the candidates here. Okay, so can we please bring them? This is the screenshot that you have there on YouTube. You know, you can see all of their videos are up there. Every one of them is available on YouTube. So spend some time, the residents and the voters in Yishun GRC and also in Yio Chu Kang. You go and watch it, you will be inspired by some of the stories of our candidates, what they have gone through from where they were born, where they grew up, what school they went to, how they fell in love and got married, and eventually settled down and have the courage to stand up and be, you know, a candidate for PSP to bring about good changes in Singapore. Let's bring on the next person, please. This is Kala. Where's Kala? Yes, Kala is there. That's her lovely waving her hands. And of course, now we have next is Taufik. Taufik, raise your hands, please, so that everyone knows who you are. Yes, that's Taufik, handsome dude. You know what he does for relaxation? He goes boxing with his wife. But then I asked him, has he accidentally punched his wife before? He says he tries not to, because if not, he will get walloped. Okay, and the last but not least, okay, we have Kayla. Kayla is from the SMC of Yio Chu Kang. Yes, and there she is looking so bright and cheery like a daisy. Okay, folks, now it's time for me to bring you guys on because it's an e-rally that we're going to be doing tonight. And the first one that I'm going to feature, okay, how it's going to go is like this. Okay, you have questions, you can start posting them on Zoom or on Facebook Live. and we will collate your questions. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to introduce each candidate, and we'll give them some time to talk about the issues that are close to their hearts. And after that, we'll go on to the next candidate until the last one is finished, which is Kayla. Then we will start answering your questions. We'll do our best to answer as many questions as we can. And without further ado, can I please bring on the first video for Damien, please? The short video that we have, so that you can get to know him just that little bit better. Tech people, please bring on the video for Damien. Thank you. Are we ready to go? My tech people? No problem if you're having some issues there with buffering a little bit. So in the meantime, just once again, for those of you who want to buy our merchandise, you can go on to Marina Square. The shop is called Passions. They sell our Autica otters, we sell our caps, and we sell our PSP t-shirts as well. So for those of you who want to get those merchandise, you know, you can go down to Marina Square and get that thing from them. And also, as I mentioned earlier on, for those of you that want to make a donation to PSP, you can do it by PayNow. You can send us a check, or you can also scan the QR code that was on the screen. Okay, this is the one that I was talking about. So it's at the unit is 02-332B. The name of the shop is called Passions. They sell antique watches in that shop. And so for those of you who wants to buy these items and support PSP, you can make your way down to Marina Square and pick up these items. And each thing you buy will help us in our funding for the general elections, okay? So once again, folks, if we have got that 1.5 minute, very short video ready, we can play that. And for Damien, it will be good to go. Or are we having some technical difficulties with that? Damien, since we are not able to run that video yet for the moment, I will pass the floor to you for you to say hello to Singapore and especially the residents and voters in Nee Soon. Damien, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. Hope that you can hear me. So glad that you all took some time to spend it with us. I know you could have spent more time to do something else, but you chose it to spend. So I'm very thankful. Okay. Okay, a bit of a short introduction about myself. I've been working in the commercial world for about 30 years. So I have about 30 years plus of working experience, spanning from electronics, retail. I spent close to about a third of my life in retail. And now I'm working as a customer service manager. So what has brought me to PSP today? I think what's most important here to sort of answer that question. That part was when I joined PSP during their party launch. And when Doc spoke about having to overcome the fear of speaking out or what we felt was right, that really set me on the path thinking whether or not are we really so fearful to speak up for what we think is right, not only for myself, for the people and for the future of our children. And well, I signed up straight on the spot without having to think twice. And I've not regretted this decision. I felt that probably is the best decision I've made so far. And this has set me on the path whereby it's very challenging, but I welcome all the challenges that are coming on board. So, Craig, over to you.
Oh, thank you very much there. Damien, there was a short speech that you just shared with us there about why you joined PSP. Excellent. Okay, the next person that I would like to bring on, and this person, have we got the videos ready? Are they able to go, the short videos, if we have them? This is the one on Damien. Yes, lovely. Let's run this video, please. Supposed
Damien,
to have,
and
yeah.
I'm here today because I think we need a paradigm shift. My main interest is basically reading. I think reading expands your mind. It not only gives you knowledge, but I think it gives you a different perspective. I think leadership is really an important part whereby you set the direction where we want to head. With leadership, I think you, in a sense, you can't escape from certain values. There are certain values like respect for each other's opinion, or even agreeing to disagree. The diversity of views that we have nowadays, I would say, is tolerated, but if you want to talk about whether it's being accepted, I think that has probably some way to go. For myself, what's most important is probably the youth are probably the most underrepresented in Parliament, the voice. And you need to give them that voice. So let us be your voice. I think it is time that probably the youth really need to stand up and say, we want to stand up to be counted. The future belongs to you. I am Damien, and I'm
Okay, there was an abrupt ending, but it doesn't matter. The next person that I'd like to bring on from the Nee Soon team will be Nalla. Can we have the video, if it's ready, to roll the video for Nalla, please? Thank you very much, my tech people. Have you got that video ready? We are trying to roll the video for Nalla now. You know, that's the thing with technology. When you expect it to work smoothly and without hitches, right? But sometimes these kind of things, you know, it happens because of bandwidth, because of whatever. Are we ready to go? I hope my tech people have got the thing under control. If not, then I'll open the floor to Nalla. You're messing up the sequence right now, but okay, here we go. Nalla.
My one key motto is never to give up. Whenever you come down, you don't give up. You give it your best shot and come back again. We Singaporeans will never give up. Hi, I'm Nalla here. I'm a chartered accountant. I'm also the treasurer of Progress Singapore Party. Come 2011, when Dr. Tan wanted to stand for the PE, I joined him as a flyer distributor. I really respected his humility. That is how I came into politics. All we wanted to see a good man to be our head of state. Things didn't work out, so we decided that we will bite the bullet, take the risk, form this party. Our founding fathers, they can actually relate to the ground. Slowly, as we go on from the second, third, and the fourth generation of incumbent leaders, they are slowly losing sight of the ground. The income disparity is now getting wider and wider. Yes, we might have the GDP growth, but the growth is not actually filtering to the masses. People are really having difficulty leading a decent retirement life. After working 30, 40 years, they don't even have enough savings to tide them over for the rest of their life. It's very sad. We are not here to rock the boat, but to improve things, make life better for Singaporeans, especially the lower strata of society, the downtrodden ones who have no voice. We want to be the voice for them.
To create a compassionate, inclusive, and enduring Singapore.
We feel that if we don't do it, then who will do it? You don't expect others to do it for you unless you are prepared to do it. We are with you. Please give us your support and we will do the best we can for you. Thank you.
Wow, Nalla, that was a powerful video. You know, I love it, man. It resonated with me because you are here to help. And just to make that point very clear, many times you guys from the alternative political parties are painted as villains. You are here to destroy Singapore. That cannot be further from the truth, right, Nalla? You guys are here to offer an alternative, and we are all Singaporeans. You'll be crazy if you guys are here to destroy the country. Now, without further ado, I give the floor to you, Nalla. Share with the residents of Nee Soon and the rest of Singapore what you want to do for them. Thank you.
Thanks, Craig, for the wonderful introduction. Hi, I'm Nalla here, founding member and treasurer for Progress Singapore Party. I'm also the candidate for Nee Soon GRC. What is unique about Nee Soon GRC is we have a truly multiracial slate of candidates. We can look from the panel. You have Damien, Brad,
the minority here.
Yeah. And then you have Kayla Manickam and Muhammad Taufik. So it'll be a wonderful thing come on the 10th of July when they announce the winning team, when they announce Nee Soon GRC. It'll be a proud moment for Nee Soon residents as well as Singaporeans. It will clearly show that after almost 55 years of independence, Singaporeans have come of age and they're voting based on the individual sincerity and competence rather than by race. Now, let me say a few words in Tamil before I continue my message in English. அன்புள்ள நீசூன் வாக்காளர்களுக்கும் சிங்கப்பூர் குடிமக்களுக்கும் எனது மனமார்ந்த வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். என் பெயர் நல்லகருப்பன். வரவிருக்கும் பொது தேர்தலில் என் கட்சி என்னை வேட்பாளராக தேர்ந்தெடுத்ததற்கு மிக்க பெருமைப்படுகிறேன். சிங்கப்பூர் முன்னேற்றத்திற்கும் சிங்கப்பூர் குடிமக்கள் நலனுக்கும் எங்களால் முடிந்தவரை பாடுபடுவோம். சிங்கப்பூரர்களுக்கு ஒரு சிறந்த வாழ்க்கையும் ஒரு சிறந்த எதிர்காலத்தையும் மற்றும் நாடாளுமன்றத்தில் ஒரு சிறந்த குரலாகவும் சிங்கப்பூர் முன்னேற்ற கட்சி எப்பொழுதும் பாடுபடுவோம். உங்கள் ஆதரவும் மிக்க முக்கியம். நன்றி, வணக்கம். Okay, let me continue now again in English. Okay, one of our main priorities for Progress Singapore Party is a good and more and better jobs for Singaporeans. At the moment now, even before the COVID-19 crisis, a lot of PMET jobs have been displaced. And now with this COVID-19 crisis, we are talking about maybe 100,000 or more PMET jobs will be displaced. So it's very tough for PMETs now, especially, they are probably in their 40s and 50s. They have relatively young children to look after, as well as elderly parents. So I can feel this thing because I have friends and all that. Many of them feel the government now, of course, they are announcing, some job opportunities here and there. But this situation has been very tough for a couple of years already due to the gig economy. So I believe that we as a party believe to help them, we should emphasize that the priority for jobs should go to Singaporeans first. It doesn't make sense as a country. Why are we not protecting our own citizens first? It's strange, if you go to any other country, definitely they'll protect their own citizens first. So we will suggest that, strongly recommend in Parliament that they have to look at measures how this 100,000 PMETs, how can we find them jobs? Of course, we have a job bank now, but people are wondering, they go for training and all that, but the effectiveness of placement is not there. So probably we need to do a thorough audit of how many people are asking for jobs and how many actually are then successfully placed in jobs. Then the other area, you see, if we look at young graduates, last time when I graduated in 1988 in accountancy, normally even before we graduate, the jobs are available. But now, a lot of young graduates, they don't have anything. If they're lucky, maybe, they get jobs, but maybe the top 20%, 30% get jobs. The rest, maybe they're lucky, then they get either contract work or project work. So it's very sad, especially our universities. If we look in the rankings, NUS is number 1, followed by NTU number 2. In world rankings, NUS is number 11 and NTU is number 13. SMU and SUTD also are world recognized universities. So we have this world recognized universities, and why our graduates having difficulty to find jobs? There's something strange. So PSP is recommending that first priority for fresh graduates, Singaporeans should be given first priority. Those foreign students who come and study here, after graduating, they should go and look for work overseas. When they are welcome to come back after they got the relevant experience, and then they come back and which Singapore needs. But definitely the first priority for jobs should go to Singaporeans first. And, while I was distributing flyers at Yishun MRT a couple of days ago, this Grab delivery person was rushing. So I just took out my flyer, and he took my flyer and then he stopped his bike. So I went to talk to him in a couple of minutes. I can see he was telling me he was an engineer, and then he was laid off and he had difficulty finding job. So he got no choice to put food on the table for the family. He became a Grab delivery driver. I have nothing against these jobs, but I'm just sad that why is Singaporean is a well-trained, experienced person. I can see the tears well in his eyes, and I feel that pain too. So it's about time, as a government, we have to look after our own people. It's very sad, and definitely PSP, the first priority for us is to get jobs for Singaporeans first to lead a decent life. And also, you see, I also feel, Dr. Tan Cheng Bock, he's already 80 now. He could have led a very comfortable retirement life. But why did he want to come back in the rough and tumble of politics, having all this stress? That's the only one and only reason, because he loves Singapore and Singaporeans. This is the same feeling we Nee Soon candidates as well as Yio Chu Kang candidate, we feel the same thing, that as Dr. Tan, 80 years old, is willing to do this, I think it's about time we step up. So we want to work hard for Singaporeans with sincerity, roll up our sleeves to make a better life for Singaporeans. If you think over, after, you gave us, Singaporeans gave a strong mandate to the PAP in 2015, is your life better? Do you want, after 5 years, do you want this same life? If you feel no, you think you want a better life, I think we are here sincere. Please vote for us and we will do the very best for you. So when you go to the polling booth, remember the palm tree, the 5 fronds. We are sincere. We will work hard for you. Please vote for us, and we will do the best for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much there. That was Nalla, okay, who just gave us a very inspiring speech about what you guys are going to be doing, and also mentioning about why so many PMETs are out of their jobs, right? And actually, Dr. Tan, you were right, no, Nalla? He was, in a way, kena tekan, as we use a local slang, right? He was wallop for saying, put Singaporeans first. So after so many years now, we realize the wisdom of what Dr. Tan has wanted to express, why we should always put our own Singaporeans first. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on the next person to the panel, and that is going to be Taufik. And if we can run the video for Taufik first before he gives us his speech. Thank you.
Children nowadays, they can hardly see their parents. I think it is sad. The values of the family is not there anymore. Hi, my name is Taufik Supan. I still remember when I just completed my NS. I wanted to continue my studies. Back then, I have no choice. I have to work and fund my own education. I still remember those days where I have just had to have a few slices of bread and even drink tap water just to save money and fund for my own education. Life as a Singaporean has never been easy. Every parent nowadays, they are so busy with their work. They have to work day and night, going as early as before sunrise and coming back after sunset. The high cost of living has to be addressed. Essential things like transportation, food, education, medical costs, all these basic needs keep going up. All these are not meant to make money. These are meant for Singaporeans and investment in the people and to assist them with their daily lives. I believe that I have to do the right thing, and I believe that I have to do it right for our future generation. Please give me your support.
Thank you very much there. That was the video on Taufik. And Taufik, the floor is yours. Speak to Singapore.
Hey, Craig, thank you. Hi, everyone. Taufik here. Okay, just a little bit about me, a short introduction. I came from a middle-income, typical Singaporean family. And rest assured, I am here. I am fully committed to serve Singaporeans and the whole residents of Nee Soon. I am here to serve all of you wholeheartedly, and I am very passionate to do my best to serve all of you. Okay, why I joined PSP? Simple reason, because I believe in serving Singaporeans. I believe in serving the people and not just the economy, because I believe investing in our own people and growing our own people is very, very important, and especially our focus on the underprivileged. Singaporeans must be prioritized in all aspects. Maybe just to share a little bit, back then, I almost wanted to withdraw my membership to PSP. Back then, I'm not sure if you guys have read my Facebook post. It was on a weekend. I was contemplating whether I should go ahead with the welcome tea party back then to collect my membership card. So I was thinking whether is this the right thing for me to do? Deep in my heart, I feel like, I have to do this. I have to do the right thing. This is the only right thing for me to do. And I believe that PSP is the best platform for me to do this job, to serve Singaporeans. So I was contemplating. So back then, I turned to my wife and asked my wife, should I go and collect the membership card? And my wife, you know what she did? What? You sign up with PSP? So I was being scolded left, right, and center. And she asked me, why am I doing this? Is it worthwhile? What difference can I make? So I believe I might be one person, but if all of us come together with a common purpose, it does make a huge difference. And Progress Singapore Party, PSP, provides the most meaningful platform for me to do this work. So, cutting short, here I am now. I am one of your candidates representing for Nee Soon GRC. Please vote for me. vote for PSP. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much there. That was Taufik there explaining why he joined and how he got scolded by his wife. I'm sure most of you have got some kind of reports or some stories like this to share, right? It's like, are you crazy? What do you do that for? You know, what did you do? You know, we're gonna. So like it's like the end of the world, right? But then with courage, with support from each other, you guys have stepped up, okay, and put yourself up in front for the whole world to see. And I salute all of you for your courage, okay? All of you deserve that. And the next person that I want to bring on after Taufik is Kayla. Can we play the video for Kayla, please? Thank you, my good tech support people. Thank you.
My parents from young has advocated us to step forward with courage to make a difference in people's life. They also advocated about compassion. My father actually, when he goes out, when he sees someone, he actually asks the person 2 questions. How are you and have you eaten? And if the person has not eaten his lunch or breakfast, the next moment this particular person will be in my house having his breakfast or lunch. Hi, I'm Kayla. I would say I'm proud that I made my first career in the Singapore Armed Forces. We are the first batch of women officers who were trained side by side with men in 1990. In the 16 years of corporate life, being a specialist educator, upon reflection, I realized that we need to move away from the current education system for both the children and adults so that we will have a competent workforce and a happy society. Currently, my daughter is in primary 5. We have a lot of conversation about schools. Many kids are not happy. Homework, additional worksheet after worksheet, just to score. Is this what we are talking about, education system and preparing our kids for our future? To develop a child, it has to be holistic, not just academic. With the current situation, a teacher is very stretched. The administrative role, secondary appointments, KPIs to meet, they're actually very tired. I envision a nurturing education system which is holistic, be it for children, be it for adults. We have to respect individual uniqueness, and they can make a difference by giving them empowerment. Please give me a support. Thank you.
And there was the video for Kayla. Kayla, that was excellent there. And of course, I know one of the hot issues for you will be on education. And I also feel very strongly because our education system in Singapore produces, you know, in a way, please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. We produce damaged goods in the sense that our children are not able to be children, you know. They are forced, they become pressure cooked, and after that, they'll become a bit, you know, unbalanced sometimes, you know. And that's a sad thing. And education should be holistic and not just academic. So, Kayla, the floor is yours. Say hello to Singapore, especially the residents in Nee Soon. They are waiting for you.
Thank you, Greg. Okay, dear Singaporeans, before I go on to talk about the education for our children, I just want to tap on something first, okay? I just want to convey my wishes to you. My dear Singaporeans, you are also, when I say dear Singaporeans, I'm also referring to the residents who are residing in Nee Soon. Thanks for coming forward to, when we went for walkabouts, to receive us with warmth and hope that we will have a better future as this is our home. We are into the 5th day of our campaign, and I just want to highlight something that's happened today. I'm quite disappointed with the recent interview done with Shanmugam, who have years of experience contesting in an election. But I'm very sad to see that over the years, things has not been developed in the way we wanted to. Basically, where I'm coming from, whenever he responds to some of the media questions, he tend to use the same whole tricks rather than coming up different strategies to manage his opponents. Opponents we are referring to us. We are more of the alternative voices here to represent you in the parliament. So basically, quite sad is in the sense that going back to the same whole tricks doesn't help. And it's kind of a bit boring. People are already used to this kind of responses. But I just want to say something here. I really, really salute the Singaporeans who are out there, who are very brilliant people who had graciously given him many, many chances after election for him to transform out of respect that they had for him. So hoping that he would actually make some improvements in terms of the way he will manage the opponents. But anyway, moving forward, I would also like to say by looking at our Singaporeans online, by our fellow Singaporeans out there, after the mothership interview today, held with Shanmugam, I salute our people coming forward courageously from all walks of constituency to respond to his remarks against PSP candidates standing at Nee Soon. I bow to you. Actually, if I'm in front of you, I really bow to you with respect, as every one of you had addressed his remarks about how intellectual responses have been given, that every one of you actually saved our energy. To be very frank, all we 5 guys are working very hard
we start the day as early as 7 o'clock and we end the day as late as 10 o'clock and rush back to our meetings. And we in between, we're finding time to respond to here and there. But I want to say thank you from bottom of my heart to all the Singaporeans out there, whether you came from Nee Soon or East Coast or even Marymount, doesn't matter, but you have responded intellectually to our dear Mr. Shanmugam. We do not wish to reinvent the wheel by paraphrasing the responses, as you Singaporeans have nailed it rightly and deeply. Since he has already suggested he's coming up with 15 projects for Nee Soon and cares your well-being for the Nee Soon residents, then respectfully, I will expect, I expect Shanmugam to respond to all your comments given to him to show that he is full-heartedly serving the Nee Soon residents. So hopefully I don't keep him awake tonight because of my statement I'm making today. So I'm not too sure whether he's going to keep awake and going to respond to the 285 messages there. And I'm really, I'm telling you, salute to you all. The way you all responded, spot on. And everybody, I see you the caliber of really to become an MP. Not only we 5 of us, I saw many MPs out there in Nee Soon resident. So as I've expressed in my earlier speech, I'm a strong believer that Singaporeans are dedicated, capable and talented as we carry the DNA of forefathers. So it's not a play thing. I will believe that we carry these things very strong in us. I would like to comment on one aspect which is critical for we Singaporeans to be enlightened. That is Shanmugam expressed, recession is coming in today's interview. That is the typical of PAP being reactive than proactive. Dear Singaporeans, you will know if we are already in a recession or is it coming. As I walk the ground, Nee Soon residents keep abreast with current economical, social and political developments, that they are very well aware what has happened, what is happening and what is going to happen. But our dear Shan says that recession is coming. Like what Insikit says, we also have a plan and an East Coast plan. Okay, so where I'm coming from is, we have to be very mindful of what we say and do. I'm just trying to reflect and think, that means the recession is not coming yet, is it? Thousands of jobs are lost, closure of many companies, no to tourism due to COVID. SIAs are grounded due to COVID, etc., etc., etc. But recession is still coming, it's still coming. So anyway, Singapore is, I saw this article on 27 May in Straits Times Business Straits Times. It's written there, Singapore is aided for deeper recession and more job losses. So this is on 27 May. But today's date is 4th of July, okay, US Independence Day. We wish we also get independence in terms of freedom of speech and everything. So that will happen on 10th of July. So we'll mark 10th of July, okay, Independence Day in terms of freedom of speech, okay? So moving on, I just want to understand, I'd like to clarify if we are already in a technical recession or recession is coming. So this actually confused me because I was actually went into research because, when you are dealing with Shanmugam, I need to get my facts correct. If I don't get my facts correct, then you know what will happen to me, right? So basically, I just put it in a very tactful manner, in a very polite manner. I'm asking, can we clarify? Are we in a technical recession already or the recession is coming? Now it's June, now it's in July, sorry. So Singaporeans are already losing jobs, firstly, largely due to their foreign policy agreement, which is created by PAP. Secondly, now currently is the added one was the COVID. So when you look at it, we Singaporeans, instead of handling the COVID pandemic challenges currently, in addition, we're already facing the foreigner agreement policy pandemic, which is in existence since the last 10 to 15 years, which has gradually expanded to many more countries and have robbed our Singaporeans of job. So now you're telling me that current COVID has actually robbed our job. No, our jobs already robbed 10 to 15 years ago by the foreign policy agreement pandemic. So what is the pandemic now, which is actually have an impact? So please, Singaporeans, let's sit down and reflect upon it. We are actually, yes, COVID is existing, but way before COVID comes in, we have lost thousands of jobs. And today, when he went for interviews asking what the plan does the PSP has. So let me see what is coming out after today's session. I feel Singaporeans, it's enough, it's enough. It's enough, it's enough, because I believe you all are brilliant people and you're able to analyze things. And we PSP members have actually stepped forward in for you Singaporeans to be your voices. And I'm pretty sure there are many people, after I came into the politics and my name was mentioned for the nomination day, many of my friends and many of my good wishes, even those who are supporting PAP, actually give me all the wishes and support. And they also asked me, hey, I'd like to be one of the nominated members. You know why? I want to serve the country. I see one person step forward and you make a impactful to Singaporeans, that everybody is now motivated, courageous to step forward. So you and I can make a difference. So moving forward, I just want to say something. If you look at what Shanmugam has promised, Shanmugam and team has promised today, by now Nee Soon residents must have received a very colorful brochure and flyers from PAP, mostly advertising on town upgrading, new amenities, polyclinic, etc., etc. PSP welcome all these facilities, which is rightfully to be in place in the constituency, because it's Singaporeans' money. Singaporeans, I'm telling you, these plans they're doing, the money all belongs to you and me, no? So whoever comes into Parliament, whoever is going to manage you, I'm telling you that we are actually going to have all these planned for you too, because the money is there. All we need to do is to make noise and make sure we justify it and we go all out with you. And then we'll, of course, use you as our justification, and definitely that all these plans will roll out without any issue. Okay. So where I'm coming from is, regardless whoever is selected, don't be swayed away by the thing about all the upgrading. But I want to ask you, to the extent, he said he bringing all this upgrading, and then Shan expressed, I call him in short Shan, just for more favorite calling. Okay, as Shan expressed that he has 15 more projects for Nee Soon residents, and Nee Soon residents deserve better. He used the word deserve better, no? Where subconsciously you took our PSP slogan. We are happy that we managed to influence Shanmugam and his team that Singaporeans deserve better. So I'm so happy. We won the first battle for Shanmugam to use the word Nee Soon residents deserve better. That is our slogan. If you go and look at all our pamphlets, it's written down there. Singaporeans deserve better. So he has taken it out from our mouth. I think our pamphlets are making an impactful way. And maybe 2-3 pages only compared to their pages. Okay, but anyway, but do these projects, come to the serious one, but do these projects create livelihood and bring food to your table? Reduce cost of living, reduce your medical costs. Will you have affordable housing? Will you have affordable retirement fund? And reduce your stress, my dear residents. We have to think hard. All these projects are not going to solve this problem. But the most important things are not tapped. And he's asking PSP whether we got plan or not. Okay, before he asks PSP got plan or not, the most critical thing that Singaporeans need, the Nee Soon residents need, that is not touched. All about development, project developments, and that's how they entice. So I'm saying, moving forward, let's be more connected with people on the ground and look at the real life issues that's happening. Let's be honest with ourselves. And in this context, because I'm talking about in my introduction, I actually went on to talk about, stressful in terms of about education system. And this is what I'm going to touch on. So enough of Shanmugam now. Let's move on to our next topic, which I want to focus on, is about education. Okay, if you know that PSP has done a lot of groundworks and a lot of issues has been addressed, and most of my colleagues are actually bringing different pointers. So I just want to touch on the mental well-being of people in Singapore. And I just want to focus on education for our children, which is a cornerstone of society. I, as a parent, I really empathize with every single parent in Singapore. The pain and struggle and the challenges and all their heart and money all goes to the education. At the end of the day, foreigner take the job. Our children all well educated with all the money spent, but who takes the job? The foreigner. Okay, let me move on. I would say that the vision for education has lost its way, where it robbed the child of the love of learning, where creating high level of stress for both parents and kids, and eventually affected the holistic well-being of every family. As far as education is concerned, we have not got the certain basic rights. Here, I want to touch base on the teachers. Firstly, I want to touch base on teachers. Teachers will be made, when we come to Parliament, not when, we will be in Parliament. Firstly, teachers will be made one of the most, if not the most, professions in Singapore, because I really believe that teachers in Singapore are excellent. They are very well trained and they are well developed, and they want to do more for the children. And many teachers left the profession because they're not doing teaching job. They were doing a lot of administration job. Come on, we need to be very realistic. The skill sets of teaching should be teaching, but not taking the skill set of teaching to do administration work. The administration work can be done by an administrator who had that skills. So basically, if you look at it, in the very first place, we are not putting people doing the job with the right skill sets. So teachers will be given the what you call respect. They will be given the importance, where they will be only do teaching, nothing else. All administration work will be given to somebody else to get the job done. Okay. Secondly, as Albert Einstein said, everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Thus, PSP will move forward towards a flexible and diverse curriculums, where there is a balance of academic and non-academic curriculums. where a variety of programs such as sports, dance, music, art, coding, technology, whatever you name it, which all our parents are now doing all these extra curriculum in extra tuition. That's where my third point is, we're spending so much on money in tuition. I'm telling you, I as a parent, I know. And I know many of my fellow, friends who are actually parents who are watching these live shows. I want to tell you, I specifically took this topic because I know this is close to their heart also. Let me share the financial strain on parents of education system had led to. It's shocking to know from an article published in today's paper on 12 September 2019. Tuition has ballooned to 1.4 billion industry in Singapore. Wow, money making, no? 1.4 billion industry in Singapore, based on household expenditure survey done in October 2017 to 2018. This is a real concern, Singaporeans. This is a real concern. Why? Who is affected? Our Singaporean parents who work day and night, not one job, maybe 2 jobs, 3 jobs. But at the end of the day, end up in hospital with all kinds of diseases just because they want to give the best education for the children. Nothing wrong, they're doing the right thing. But PSP will provide a level playing field for all children regardless income and class status. The teachers will be groomed to create a nurturing learning environment, which we believe will develop children with values, character, independent, and critical thinking. Critical thinking, I repeat again, critical thinking, creative and innovative. So whereby you no need to send your children for any classes outside. Everything will be done in the school. And so that every single kid will have the equal opportunity to grow together and groom together, and we will be united as one. Fourthly, we shall reduce all the class size to 15 to 20 students to give the equal attention to all children to unfold their uniqueness. Come on, can we be more frank and open about it? Are you very honest? Poor teacher has to take care of 30 to 40 kids. Are you very sure we can? Even at home, we can't even take care of 2 or 3 kids. How can a teacher can take care of 30, 40 kids? Can we be more human to our teachers? Our teachers are also human beings, and they need to be given the space, and they want to do the best. And the children also are very important people, and they need to be, their attention should be focused on them. If you have 30, 40 kids, how are you going to spend attention on every kid? And how are you going to unfold the kids' potential? So we're only going to go to 15 to 20. We will do it. There are many strategies can be done. So I believe all these are possible. We are not just selling for the sake of selling, because I'm in an education field for 15 years, and I'm pretty sure I can bring my expertise, and with my colleagues from different expertise they're coming from, they definitely will able to unfold this thing. And the preschool education is also can be part of the formal education by they must have more fun, more play. Not everything academic. You saw my introduction video, right? Worksheets after worksheet. Any children do 101 worksheets, they can score A star. But we don't want that kind of missionary kind of education. We want humans intellectually thinking, analyzing. They enjoy what they're doing. So then the last one, we are looking at a post. This is not the final one. We are looking at skills kind of training related to facilitate polytechnic and tertiary education, so that to prepare them for the workforce. So basically, I just want to highlight that PSP is putting up together all these main concerns for us because to reduce the stress level. Singaporeans, when I was coming home after my walkabout, I bumped into a psychologist. I don't know who is he. He just approached me and say, thank you very much for stepping forward. We really need a change for the sake of the children in Singapore. I'm so shocked that I bumped into this psychology at my doorstep at my place. So he told me this, that he's actually running a clinic, and many children as early as 8 years old are already seeing that psychologist. And it was very painful when he told me that. And then he told me another shocking news. He told me that the worst is the secondary school kids. The numbers are increasing more than the primary school kids. And he told me this, the secondary school kids are even worse because they're totally lost. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know why are they studying. Because whatever they study, they know that this doesn't connect to their future. So basically, see, our children are so intelligent, so mature at a young age, they started analyzing. So 40 years ago, I remember my teacher told me, I give you 10 words, you go back home and memorize and come back. After 40 years, I went back by doctor's school. They still say the same pedagogy, please go and memorize. And I asked the teacher, you all never change your pedagogy? Say it's easiest way to do. But I don't blame the teacher, you know why? The teacher has to take care of 40 kids, administration work to do. So they don't have time to bring up other pedagogies. So that's why we need to segregate all these things. Then the teachers will have the better pedagogies to come in to develop. So where I'm coming from, can we be more mindful, at least for the sake of kids? It's very difficult to even conceive a child in Singapore because the stress level is so high. I really empathize with many parents who want to have a kid. Some parents don't want to have a kid because they say, wow, the children go through so much suffering. Then I need a lot of money. So I'm telling you, we need to put a stop here. Please, Singaporeans, can we make a change now? Not in the next general election. This election, we make a change now that we make an impactful change, and we will do it. I'm committing this from the bottom of my heart because these are the pain I've seen in my participants in the last 15 years. And that's why I came into politics. Politics is never in my planning, in my destiny, but it just came because I really want to do something for we Singaporeans. So I really appealing to every one of you here who are actually listening to this live rally, really, really appealing to do something for meaningful for yourself, for your children, for your family, everything for you. Because on the 10th of July, you have all the power. Yes. We don't have the power. You only have the power. None of us got power. Everybody can carry the title of senior minister, whatever minister, but none of them got power. But you have the power to put the right person into the parliament and give them the power for the next 5 years. Please, I will always tell myself, when I want to achieve something, I want to do something, I will always tell this, I'm in a comfort zone, I don't want to move on. And I say, if I don't move on, if I don't make the next step, I will never know what am I losing out. So you will never know what are you going to lose out if you don't bring us into parliament. We will committed to do everything possible that we promise. So please, I really appealing to every Singaporeans, and especially to my Nee Soon residents. I really fall in love with you all because I love you so much. Every day in and out, the amount of the support you're giving me, I couldn't express in words. Thank you very much, and vote not only wisely, vote intelligently, and vote it to make a change to happen in Singapore and make history in Singapore. Thank you, Singaporeans.
Thank you very much. Power to you, Kayla. Wow. Okay. Education, a main bugbear in Singapore. And just to share an anecdote very quickly, I used to do assembly shows in school many years ago. And I went to a school and I asked, who are the normal stream students? Please put up your hands. They were a bit shy not to put up their hands. And I say, so if you guys are normal, then what are the rest abnormal? Wow, they cheer so loudly because for once they felt someone standing up for them, and that kind of streaming does serious damage to children. Okay, without further ado now, let me bring on the next person that really needs no introduction. He's been attacked relentlessly by someone from Nee Soon GRC. And you all know who I'm talking about, no names mentioned. So, ladies and gentlemen, there he is, Mr. Brad Bowyer. Can we run his video, please?
Hi, my name is Brad. I'm 53 years old. I am a media consultant, a 30-year film, television and theatre professional, and I'm also a political and social blogger. So I've been involved in the political scene in Singapore for now nearly 10 years. It's all been in the background. I found that was getting nowhere. So I thought another way to approach it was from the outside. So I started blogging, picking topics that were relevant to everyday Singaporeans and trying to engage in conversation. So I've been doing miniature building and painting in one form or another as a hobby, but I mean the biggest thing for me is it's a therapy and it's a release and it's a place I can still do art. It gives me a lot of creative outlet. So I mean my son obviously is a very creative person and that is not supported so well in Singapore. So my wife and I have invested a lot of time and effort and resources into giving him the tools to explore and learn and maximize the skills he has. And what I feel sad is that a lot of other children don't get that opportunity, because I've met many talented people over the years in Singapore, but they don't have access to the resources to explore that to the fullest. You know, they're human beings, they need a space to explore and find what their skills and talents are, and then they need to have a future there. And I thought the only way that I can make sure my son has a future in the country he's born in is to help that country to move in a direction where all children have an opportunity regardless of what their talents are. And that's how you have a vibrant country. That's how you have a society that, you know, people want to be part of and you can thrive in, not just survive in. Hi, my name is Brad. I'm 53 years old. I am a
All right, thank you very much there, Brad. That was your introductory video, and the floor is yours. Say hello to Singapore and especially the residents and voters in Nee Soon.
Yes, good evening, Singapore, and especially, yes, good evening to our voters in Nee Soon. Well, I have to say, how do I follow up with what just came out? All I can say to you is be thankful that you have Kayla in your corner, right? And do not fire her up. But that is typical of what we have in our team, right? We have a powerful team who have expertise in so many areas. and we have passion in so many areas. I'd actually sort of drafted a rough kind of speech I was going to talk about tonight. I think I'm going to have to throw that out the window now and just go down a slightly different tack. And maybe it's going to touch on a little bit of what our friend Sham talked about. Of course, in my case, he focused on, I want to turn Nee Soon residents into cleaners. No, I don't want to turn Nee Soon residents into cleaners. What I want is I want to fix the flawed and broken and dysfunctional economic model that Singapore has. And actually elements of that were mentioned by Carla and some of my colleagues. Basically, we have a system that is trying to turn all Singaporeans into a clone of the PAP perfect idea of a citizen, right? The other day, you had Vivian Balakrishnan being happy that we have so many PMETs. But the problem is if you look at every country in the world, and as we've found out the very hard way during this COVID crisis, you need all kinds of jobs to have a stable and balanced society. Not everyone is a rocket scientist. There are all sorts of roles. One of those roles is cleaner. It's also a garbage guy, a gardener, a carpenter, an electrician, a technical person. There are so many roles that society needs and that should be filled and done by Singaporeans, not a million low-paid foreign workers. That's one of the reasons we're under so much stress. If you look at the history, who built Singapore? Singaporeans built Singapore. It was their blood and sweat that built the HDBs, built the roads in the early days, did all the shipbuilding, was in all of our factories. All of these jobs were done by Singaporeans. So when they tell you Singaporeans don't want to do it, that's crap. They would be prepared to do it, and they used to do it. They don't do it now. One, because they've been brainwashed for 30 years to say somehow you're a lesser human being if you do such a job. And two, because they don't get paid a living wage for it. So on that note, let's talk about that. Yes, you have a poor guy from Bangladesh who probably has no skills, gets off the boat in Singapore, and he gets paid about $550, and he gets sent down to Nee Soon to do some kind of work under a contract, whether it is cleaning or gardening or maintenance or whatever that is. But that is not what the town council pays for that. Because if you look at the bigger equation, the town council is going to be outsourcing to a company. Yes, the company pays the $550, but he also has to pay several $100s to get him from where he lives to where he works, and food and more for his health and various other things. He probably pays a dorm operator another $300+. And then, of course, the big one, which we don't know where the money goes, he pays a levy somewhere between $600 and $900, maybe $750 average. But when you add it all up, and then he adds on top of that his profit margin, that poor little Bangladeshi guy who's doing the work in a country that he has no connection to and didn't have any skills for when he turned up, is costing the town council $2,000 or more. Now we start talking about efficiency, and remember, Seng said a Singaporean can be as efficient as 3 foreign workers. Okay, so we give a job to a Singaporean, replace three foreign workers, suddenly that's $6,000 that gets freed up. Do you think we could give a living wage to Singaporeans in all the other jobs that are required with their CPF and all the other things, a couple of $1,000s? That would then leave money where we can actually invest in productivity and go to the leading edge of all of these industries. Building has moved on from coolies on the street from 100 years ago. Under our current economic model, we have coolies on the street again, effectively. This is why our productivity is flat, and as of March this year, negative. So we have to totally change the model of how we run our economy. We need to give jobs to everyone. We need to focus on the value and the meaning they get, which gives someone their respect, right? So a cleaner, it's a dirty job. It's a difficult job, but it needs to be done. COVID has told us it needs to be done. It should be done by a Singaporean, and he should not be made to feel worse if he does that job. and he should be paid a living wage. And as I just made very clear to you, you could hire him and it would cost you less than what it currently costs you with your free foreign workers. Of course, that would mean the government wouldn't be collecting a couple of $1,000 in levy, which we don't know what it does with, and the dorm operator wouldn't be getting his $1,000 and his money, and the guy who's supplying the labour wouldn't be taking his cut. You'd actually be putting it in the pockets of the Singaporean. So when we're talking about the residents of Nee Soon, and of course residents all over Singapore, if you have people in jobs being paid a living wage, what else does that do? Well, suddenly their self-esteem goes up, their self-respect goes up. They can look after their families. It also may mean they don't need comcare anymore, which also comes from the public funds. It also means if it was previously a low-paid job and they get a proper wage, they don't need workfare. Workfare, by the way, which is actually corporate welfare. So don't let anyone tell you they're giving you a handout. They're taking taxpayers' money to top up the worker's salary so the boss can underpay him and put more profits in his own pocket. So we have to rearrange and restructure how we do everything. And we don't want Singaporeans turn and try to be forced into clones of the little PAP elite at the top. Because if it keeps on down this way, if you look at a country like Dubai, Emirati, 15% elite, and they've got 85% foreign workforce. Very good for the Emirati. They own everything. They have very little social responsibility. They don't have to worry much about democracy because they can hire and fire the workforce whenever they like it. Unfortunately, in our situation, the Singaporeans are citizens, right? They should be looked after. We can't be treated like the foreign workforce in Dubai. But it seems to be that is how we're being treated. So we have to change these things. Otherwise, our country is really going to go nowhere. And we're halfway there already. 1 million foreign workers. That's 1 million jobs that Singaporeans should have. Of course, we don't have that many because the cost of living and all the other stresses mean the regular Singaporeans aren't having many kids. When you see families with big kids, generally, they're walking around in Holland Village and down in the Botanic Gardens and stuff like that because they can afford to have 3 or 4 kids. So they're growing that section of the population, but the rest of us, we're in serious trouble. So we need to change fundamentally how we do things. And that will apply nationally, and that will apply within Nee Soon. Because if we give jobs to the people within Nee Soon to look after Nee Soon, they also have a vested interest. It's your own home. If I had a job cleaning my own home, I'd make sure I did it well. If I was a guy who got off the boat from Bangladesh, was being paid a pittance, and it's just my job, yeah, I'll do it, but how well am I going to do it? And of course, how efficiently am I going to do it? So there are so many things we need to change. That is just one of them. I don't want to go on too long because I think we're at 9 o'clock. I know many of you have got questions. Just know that every one of us here in our team is 110% committed to doing a good job for Nee Soon and a good job for Singapore as a whole. And I really do hope that on the 10th of July, as Carla said, this will be our Independence Day. Our Independence Day from an old, outdated model that actually has turned the men in white to the white men of old. And coming from a white guy, I'm really ashamed of it. But that's exactly what they've done. So please vote for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brett. And now we are bringing on the last person who is actually from an SMC. That's a single member constituency of Yio Chu Kang. And what you just heard from Singapore was the entire team from Nee Soon GRC, and they're going to give the incumbent there a run for their money. All the best to them. Remember to vote for them, including Kayla. And right now, can we run the video for Kayla Low, please, who is contesting in Yio Chu Kang?
The government is not running the country as a family. Everything is talking about profit rather than put the nation in the first place. This is what I worry for my own children and also future generations. Hi, my name is Kayla Low. I'm a mother of 3. I started to work at the age of 18 as a factory worker. Then subsequently, I joined prison service before I became a chartered accountant. I come from a poor family. I have 4 siblings. I'm the eldest in the family. My father is a hawker. My mother is a homemaker. My mom will always cook for us. It's just very simple, but we feel appreciated. Today, a lot of family eat out because parents spend a lot of time outside. A lot of Singaporeans actually work more than 10, some 12 hours per day. It's really lack of family time and work-life balance. Dr. Tan, at his age, he's willing to step forward to help all the Singaporeans. I think it's time that I step forward, use my expertise to serve the country and share the workload. I hope to improve the life of family in Singapore. Please give me your support.
All right, there was a lovely video on Kayla. So Kayla, the floor is yours. You can say hello to the people in YCK, that's Yio Chu Kang, SMC, and the rest of Singapore. Welcome, Kayla.
嗨，亲爱的同胞们，我是罗淑义。我们即将在7月10日前往投票站投票。我紧接着提问一些关系到我们未来的问题。请允许我先问一个简单的问题：政府有真正为我国的工作人士着想过吗？此时此刻，工作保障以往任何时候都更成为许多人重大的关切点。毕竟，新冠状病毒的疫情已经造成无数国人被裁退，这是否是政府政策的失误，以及让太多外国的初级专业人员进入新加坡？为什么我们要引进这么多的外国人才，而不是雇佣本地人才呢？我们应该自我提问，即政府在推动优先考虑新加坡人才方面是否做得足够？因此，新加坡前进党强烈推荐针对就业准证实行配额制，以及以新加坡人为优先的就业机会。洋错港的选民们，请投我一票。My dear Yio Chu Kang voters, I'm Kayla Low. I'm here today to voice out and raise questions to concern our future. Besides job security, how about our welfare in times of crisis such as now? Has the government allocated a fair share to build a better infrastructure for us? The Jewel at Changi Airport was built at a cost of 1.7 billion. Is this the best way to allocate our resources? We can see so many homeless Singaporeans and elderly still collecting cans, cardboards, or working as cleaners. Why are we not putting our taxpayers' money to benefit Singaporeans? Why can't we build retirement homes for the elderly and homeless? PSP strongly recommends improving financial assistance. Public spending should be prudent. SME employ about 70% of Singaporeans. However, in time of crisis like what we are going through now, SME also the first one to fall between the cracks. They do not have enough cash flow as backup. I feel that government has to create and provide equal opportunity for SME. Give the smaller local companies a chance instead of always going for the big names. Financial assistance to SMEs also should be revised. The loan that these SMEs can take is generally not enough to cover their expenses. Many SMEs are also not familiar with the loan and grant applications. Taking a loan as an SME also requires the director to sign a personal guarantee, which makes it an obstacle for director who might not want to sign and be held liable. So this does not encourage the entrepreneurship. This is our home, our future, and our children's future. We need a compassionate government to protect our interests. My dearest voters of Yio Chu Kang SMC, vote for me, vote for PSP. You deserve better for country, for people.
Thank you very much there. I think that was the final candidate from PSP to share with Singaporeans. And just a quick recap, we have ex-Prime Minister who has retired before, and now only during the COVID situation, you know, I remember a remark was made that anyone who earns below $500,000 are mediocre. But now they realize that those who are mediocre, especially in the healthcare workers and all the people who are connected to that part of our economy, are the heroes, and they don't earn $500,000 a year. So would you still call them mediocre? So that's the thing that goes on. And then the thing about children's education was touched on, and cost of living issues are touched on, and things like this. Okay, folks, now it's time to bring us up to the questions. And once again, I'd like to say a very warm welcome to all the viewers who are watching us live, either on the Zoom webinar or on Facebook Live. You can post your questions on the Facebook Live or on Zoom, and we'll do our best to answer as many questions as we can. So everyone has had a chance to speak up and give you their rally speeches and what are some of their thoughts, and power to Kayla, especially Carla. I mean, Carla was the one that was going on and on until Brett was a little bit like, okay, you've said everything. There's nothing left for me to say anymore. Power to you. And I think there's a kind of a conspiracy going on between the tuition industry and the MOE, you know. So I myself am a parent. I pay $1,000 over dollars, almost $2,000 a month on tuition, and that's breaking my back, you know. So it's no joke. So it's that a serious burden, or $2,000 almost a month on tuition alone. Anyone in the same boat with me, please complain, okay? What is happening to our education system? Why are our kids turning out this way? Oh, that's terrible, and quite worrisome to hear Carla mentioning that she spoke to a psychologist who said many of our children are affected. That's why I say our education system produce damaged goods. So instead of letting our children be children, they are robbed of their childhood. And that's terrible, because why? These are our future generation of Singaporeans. Okay, guys, I'm coming down to the first question that I have here. And this one is from, wow, this one quite a sensitive question. From Chye. I'm the voter in Nee Soon GRC. I just want to find out from the team, what are your individual stand with regards to repealing 377A? Damien, I think you have indicated you maybe want to take on this question. Okay, that's a sensitive question. So we don't avoid the hard questions. We go for the jugular. The floor is yours, Damien.
Well, thanks, Craig. Thanks. That's Joshua, is it? The person who
no, Chye. Chyaw.
Okay, thanks a lot, Chye, for the question. Actually, surprisingly, just 2 days ago, I received a same message on an Instagram account, and that person also asked me the same question. So, but we are not going to run away from this. So I'll just probably read to you a short response, our official party response here. Now, we do not object to the repeal of 377A if it is only to remove the criminal punishment against homosexuals. But the thing is, currently the debate over 377A is not just about criminal punishment. Okay, 377A has many other implications because it has become a proxy combat, okay, zone for other issues like sanctity or traditional family situations, structures, marriages, parenthood, and even gender, how should I put it, identities. So these are long-standing human and morals institutions. So before we even talk about 778 being removed, there must be guarantees that these institutions remain, how should I say, untouched for now. So our stand, official party stand, is this. I saw quite a few questions talking about this LGBT community. So I hope that answers your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much there, Damien. Okay, let's go on to the next question. This is from Ian Christensen. The question that Ian Christensen has, should the opposition take over the governing of Singapore? Wow, that'll be a dream come true, where we form a coalition of alternative political parties to form the government. How will they address the issue of the high pricing of public housing? Yep, what can we do about it? How can we bring the prices of HDB flats to an affordable level rather than at the stratospheric level that they are right now, where a BTO, averagely about 4-room BTO, is going for more than 400,000. So questions is open to the floor. Who would like to take on this one? Yes, Brett, the floor is yours.
So, I mean, there are a few areas that we're looking at within our policy platform regarding HDB. If you look at where HDB used to be, it was supposed to be affordable public housing. What's happened since 2000 onwards is it's been turned into pseudo-private housing. So I think one of the fundamental things is we've got to reprice the whole model. And it has to come from two sides, because for the new people coming in, we need to reprice, which means we need to get land cost out of it, amongst other things. But the existing homeowners, we have to protect where they are because of the amount of their money that they've been put in there, because for so long they were told that this is an investment and it will all go up and it will never come down. And only recently, of course, the cat has been let out of the bag. Sorry, it's going to go to zero. And of course, at the same time, it sucked all your CPF out. So unless you can downgrade before it goes to zero, you have no money left to retire on. So we have schemes on that side where we're looking at taking the on-block redevelopment schemes and using a version of that to help unlock the value, get the money back that was taken by buying high-cost HDBs on one side, and for those who already own them. And then on the other side, for those who are coming new into the market, we would remodel the scheme in a new way and new pricing so that they had a properly affordable housing, which, according to international standards, should be about 3 times the annual median income. So that's what we look at, a two-sided approach. One, to protect the existing owners while we bring in a new system which is much lower cost so that young families can start. Maybe even we'd look at a rental model for a period. So you don't actually commit to buy, you rent for a while, and then if you decide to buy, we can translate some of that rental, because I mean, obviously you won't get it rent-free, some of that rental goes into actually your purchase price. So, I mean, it's a very complex issue. There are multiple levels. We have stuff in our manifesto and in our policy plans, but that's pretty much where it is fundamentally. Addressing two sides, remove land cost, lower the prices for new buyers, protect the existing owners and release their trapped money, get it back into their CPFs, give them a retirement again. I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brad. And yes, just to add on, I think Francis Yuan has mentioned that the land cost, which is factored into the selling price of the BTO flats for these days, is as high as 60% of the total purchase price, and you don't have any share in the land. So why are you paying for? You're paying for air or paying for what, you know? So that's as you see, a tricky it's a kind of conundrum. So how then do you protect the ones who are currently flat owners and for new buyers who are coming into the market? And because why many couples who cannot afford to buy a flat outright are holding on, getting married and starting a family. And that's why it leads to the very dismal TFR, that's the total fertility rate for Singapore as well. So we allow them to rent and eventually convert to buying, as Brad said. That might be a good way to increase the core of Singapore. Now I've got a question now from a person from Facebook Live, and the name is same as you, Kala. It's called Kala KC. And the question from this person is, let me read this out. By now, that all your not all your posters, I mean, some of your posters at West Coast were taken down or ordered to be taken down by the town council in that area. How will you reach out to the residents, especially the elderly who are unfamiliar with social media? That's one question. Then the other thing is, many new citizens, the second question, many new citizens have always been very supportive of PAP. In fact, these people have always been a challenge for all the opposition parties. I believe despite the COVID situation, PAP was persistent in holding an election because of the confidence they received from these groups. How is PSP going to convince these new citizens to vote for opposition parties? Wow, that's quite a mouthful there. Hope you guys got the question. So firstly, in West Coast GRC, it's been going viral as well that you all were told to remove your posters, okay? So how is it going to affect your campaigning in that area? But you are not from West Coast, so I don't know if you're able to answer that question, but you want to give a take on it? Anyone from the panel? Yes, Brett.
I don't want to really, I mean, obviously I'm doing two questions in a row, but
it's okay.
Issue, I mean, we've had issues across the whole island in all of our districts. I mean, we've had, we haven't been ordered to take down in Nee Soon, but we've had posters torn down. We've had posters damaged. We've had a few issues that we've been dealing with. I mean, these are just some of the part and parcel of what you have to deal with. As far as reaching out, though, I mean, this is where we're on the ground. And we're doing things like mailers. I mean, for us, we've already mailed out, I think, like 50, 60,000 letters. We've got another round going out. We're working through social media to get people to talk to their elders, because as was mentioned in the question, this is a COVID election, and it is the elderly who are most at risk during the COVID election. And we have 500,000 of those people. So even we are concerned when we go to reach out to them, are we moving and transmitting things around? We don't even know it, but we've got no choice because somehow we've got to talk to them. So we're trying to minimize our direct contact with elderly, and we're trying to get the younger relatives to speak to the elderly, like the video you had, which was a great video, and share that out and let them laugh a little bit, let them think about the issues. So I think in that respect, I'd ask all Singaporeans, especially those who are watching here tonight, share our information to your elderly relatives, and that helps to protect them and keep them out of harm's way, even though we've been forced into the election when many of us are seriously advised against it. As for new citizens, which is the bit I actually was, obviously being a new citizen myself, yes, there are some statistics that typically in the first election, a new citizen will vote for the government that was there when they came in. But those are statistics based on olden days when information wasn't so widely shared and people weren't so clued into what was going on. So they just turned up and then they were just getting on with their lives. And especially now where for the last 3 to 4 months, Singapore has virtually been at a standstill, especially during the circuit breaker period. So these people have had a long time to start looking at things that they may never have looked at before. So if the election had happened without COVID, yes, I agree, most of them, they may well have voted for the government. But because a lot of them have been sitting at home for 4 months, and some of them may also have been impacted already and lost their jobs and have economic difficulties and all those sorts of things, I don't think they're going to be so guaranteed to vote the way people would think. And of course, hopefully, and I'm an example of it, they can see that in the long run, if you don't vote wisely, you may end up on the wrong end of some government policies, which you should be paying attention to. And I don't think they're stupid people. So yes, it's out there. Yes, it has an impact, but I wouldn't be so concerned about it as we would have been if we hadn't been inside a COVID election.
Can I add on, Craig?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Firstly, I just want to bring this attention to people in Singapore. Basically about the COVID election. First, if you look at this whole episode, this question, we should, in the first place, avoided this COVID election. We all are aware, because we should put lives ahead instead of the politics. So I just want the Singaporeans to really reflect, even including the new citizens. We embrace, the moment you are a citizen in Singapore, we embrace you. So we embrace everybody. So basically, we want you to reflect, why is it so that our government actually choose to have a COVID election? Anyway, we still got time until April 21st. That means the government can be dissolved in January, technically, if they want to go for election. But we still could wait it for a while, because we notice our numbers are about 40,000. We hit above 40,000. We are the highest among our neighboring countries, in fact. So why do we need to have this election at this point of time, knowing that it will cost lives? And it's every lives are very important. So that will actually make us to reflect, to see, is there something that is not appropriate? For example, I'll give you an example. Many times when oppositions come into taking up the ruling party, they will ask, is the opposition credible? I don't like to use myself as an opposition, an alternative voice. Are we credible? So now we like to ask back, if somebody in a logic mindset and bring up a COVID election at this point of time, you need to ask this question: are they logic to have an election at this point of time, when we're supposed to be mindful of lives, especially the elderly and especially the young? So this is something that I want to put forth as a thought process for people to think and reflect and come up with the responses on your own. Of course, I will have responses. We can make statements and judgments, but I don't want to come to conclusion and judgments. I have my own observation and conclusion to it, but I want the people of Singapore to reflect and come to your own judgment. Why do they came up with this COVID election? It's the time to reflect. That reflection will allow our new citizens, anyone, to make the decision to vote wisely in this coming election. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else from the panel would like to add on to what Brett and Kayla have said about new citizens voting, and what's the reason why they want to have it during this COVID time when there was no need to? And I saw a very shocking revelation actually today for those of you who may not have seen it or heard about it. Professor Tambea from the SDP mentioned that actually MOM has issued a directive because the incumbent government has planned to hold the GE in April. That MOM sent out a letter that they do not send the foreign workers for testing for COVID because if not, they'll lose their work passes. So after that, you all know what happened? The shit hit the fan and, the whole thing just kaboom, and then we have 40,000 cases up to now. So they have no choice, but they have to hold it back and circuit breaker kicked in. So that was quite a shocking revelation for me to hear Prof. Paul Tambaya mentioned that, and apparently I don't think it is fake because if not, he would have been POF-mat, right? so there must be some truth to what he said about this situation, and it was quite shocking and scary that MOM actually tried to, they actually issued a letter apparently to all the contractors not to send their Bangladeshi workers or the foreign workers in the construction industry, and the rest is history. So the pandemic that exploded in all the foreign worker dormitories, right? There was one area. Anyone else who would like to add on to what was mentioned?
Great.
Yes, yes,
So
Nala.
I want to highlight that more so because of all this, it's not good to have a single party majority. In the sense that, they let go eye off the ball. They are more interested in having the elections as soon as possible. And with not a decent number of alternative voices, they just bash through the decision making. So more so, we should have many more alternative voices in parliament, and then voice out, and then at least bring forth, and then they have to justify why they should have the election, where lives matter more actually. So more so, I think Singaporeans have to realize that we have to have many more members in parliament, especially the alternative ones, to object to all this kind of things and bring forward the safety of Singaporeans is paramount. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I would like to urge to the citizens of Singapore and also to the residents of Singapore of Nee Soon. Let's reflect and think back. Is this the right time for election? Come on. We are in the middle of pandemic here. Let's be realistic. Now is not the right time to hold any election. The government should focus all its effort on helping the people to go through this difficult period rather than rushing for any election. They should understand that the people's worry right now is about the pandemic, the effect of the pandemic on their health, economically and socially. People worry about their safety, their family's health, job security. More and more people are being displaced from their jobs, business are suffering. So I urge that we prioritize on doing what is right. We should focus on tackling the critical issues what the country is facing right now. Anyway, we are already having this election. So let's do the right thing. Vote for us. Make sure that PSP is in parliament. We will be your voice so that this kind of decision, the current incumbent, the PAP government cannot just anyhow make their own decision. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question is from Kelvin 1 and is to the floor. And the question is, PSP will be asking for more support to local small and medium-sized enterprises in restructuring and venturing overseas. What will be the challenges PSP will anticipate when approaching the authorities to achieve this objective? So, what I mean is more困难 if you're asking for more support for SMEs. Anyone like to take on this? Yes, Kayla.
As the SME， 好像这个 SME 中小企业对我来讲是比较有经验的。所以通常一般的中小企业的话，对去海外发展的话，通常会有一半的问题，就是资金方面资源没有这么充足，而且对外的新加坡以外的国家，除非他们有当地，就是比如说他们想要去泰国发展的话，除非有当地的人会跟你讲那边市场是怎么样，不如的话就很难过去，因为资源不够，很多财力物力全部都不够的话是很难的。毕竟我们也是有听说有一些政府带一些商人过去海外发展，比如说苏州还是其他的 project 也不是办得特别好，所以要特别小心。如果你要发展去外国的话，这些东西都要考虑得很清楚。谢谢。Over to you.
Okay, thank you very much there, Kayla. So yeah, so it's not an easy thing. Maybe one of the things that has been mentioned by other candidates from PSP as well is that there shouldn't be so much local competition with the GLCs for work in Singapore, and that the GLCs should actually be focused on building the external wing because they have the financial muscle or resources and contacts to do these things. Because it's quite weird. Singapore is about the only country in the world where the government is more interested in business or running a business than in managing the country. So, you know, no other countries in the world, even Hong Kong included, is the government running businesses the way Singapore is run. So there's always been that talk that Singapore is run more like a country than, more like a company than a country. And last time in the past, sorry?
And not a very well-run company either, because it doesn't have entrepreneurs and professional business people running it. It has generals and scholars who don't have the business wherewithal. So if you're going to run the place like a company, at least run it efficiently and with wise business decisions.
Well, there's been inputs as well that a lot of these people who are parachuted in, you know, either from the armed forces, the police, or the civil service, they are administrators or managers. They are not really entrepreneurs in that sense of the word because they have never had to take the risk. Put your money where your mouth is, you know, and get walloped when you go into the market, fail, and then come back again for round two. So all these people take the very safe approach. And it is any wonder that every year, Singapore, we take the best of our best in terms of academic performance. We put them into scholarship programs, the creme, of course, being the president's scholar. And when they graduate from all the Ivy League universities and they come back here and they're assured of a career path that is, you know, go bring them to stratospheric levels, and the good ones may even become a minister. So then how will the spirit of entrepreneurship be nurtured in Singapore, where everyone is so risk averse? You know, if there's a, what do you say, pao chia means I guaranteed, there's no need to take the risk, right? No? So that's why maybe the entrepreneurial spirit is lacking. Yes, Kayla, something you want to add on?
Okay, I would like to add on is that actually by right, since the GLCs or GLC have all the resources and manpower to go overseas, so technically that they should go overseas, bring in the business back to Singapore, rather than they also fighting against the local SME for the business in Singapore. This is the ideal way of doing to grow our grow our economy. I mean Singapore economies. So rather than GLC have all the resources and fighting the local SME, local companies with very limited resources and manpower. So this is what I would like to see, that there's improvement in this area. That's why in my speech I emphasize that do not always have equal opportunity to the local peoples, rather than the GLC coming to something like want to fight a chance to get the business as well. Thanks. Over to you, Craig.
Right, thank you very much there,
Craig, and
Kayla.
just a very small short one.
Go ahead,
remark.
go ahead. The floor is yours.
I think this is about entrepreneurs. It's something is very, very important to our country. As I touched on the education system for our children, that is really connected to what we are actually coming out for education system for kids and going into secondary and the post-education. So basically, our education system also does not prepare our children for our workforce. So apparently, we need to relook into the curriculum, the kind of curriculum we're doing to prepare our children from young all the way through to their secondary and tertiary education, whereby when they actually kind of graduating, they're able to be ready in the workforce. So that's why we're going to bring in one of the initiatives they're looking at into the education field is the lifelong learning using skills kind of learning that's taking place from young and moving on to the secondary schools and into the tertiary education. By looking at tertiary education in terms of diploma and degree holders, whereby they don't go to schools every day, 5 days in the school, maybe 2 days in the school and 3 days they attach to companies and to acquire the skills. And in that manner, we are able to produce in a period of time when they're studying that they are able to be not only knowledgeable, but they're able to have the skill sets to straight away perform the job what they want. And that also will give the exposures for this group of people to see whether this is the kind of occupation they want. If you look at today's generation, I don't see many of them are aspiring to want to become a lawyer, doctor. I think a lot of also being aspiring to become entrepreneurs. And you can see a lot of youngsters nowadays, after finishing their graduation, they actually going set up small shops and everything. They love to be an entrepreneur. So I feel that we could start early. And this is also one of the PSP's way of coming into the education system to make some impact, where we want to develop our kids from young, and then they will have more choices to expose and see what they want to do. As I said, Albert Einstein saying that, if you ask a fish to climb a tree, it might not. So we need to find out what is the potential and capability each individual have. And then from there, you develop them. And this is only possible when teachers can spend the time. And then we can unfold the uniqueness and then develop the child accordingly. And then they will know what are the choices available. So it is not just starting after your graduation and then you start looking for a job, I'm an entrepreneur. No, it starts from very young, and we need to identify the potentials of people. So that's how I want to say that the education system will actually help to resolve this issue. And then, of course, we want many companies to go overseas because we want to become MNC one day.
Right. Thank you very much there,
I
Yes.
just want to add on this one. I think SME is actually a very important issue that we need to tackle. SMEs actually employ 70% of Singaporeans. So I think we need to really look. Last time you look at the growth in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, it was multinational based. It was a good decision in the sense that they brought in the labor, the capital, and the management expertise. But now I think more so because the world is becoming very competitive. So even if we are saying that, we want Singaporeans come first and all that. Normally now a lot of countries are vying for the MNC investments. So end up is they will dictate terms to us and all that. So I think our business model has to evolve, just like the Taiwanese business model is more concentrated on small and medium enterprises, where we have to give them adequate, in terms of like funding, the technology, this thing, as well as I feel for the SMEs, the government can be the chief marketers for them for overseas investments and all that. So in the sense that the SMEs will then be able to stronger in terms of businesses and all that, and also the cost for SMEs. The rental is one of the biggest costs for SMEs. So the government has to address on this in the sense that they should try as far as possible, try to alleviate the steep rental increases. They have to address this real issue because a lot of SME business, even this COVID-19 crisis, yes, the government has addressed on the labor side. They have subsidized the employment side. But the rental is only a small amount in terms of like property tax rebates and all that. I think this rental component, they have to address, seriously look into it, how best to reduce the rental component for SMEs to thrive and survive. Yeah.
Right, thank you there, Nalo. And just to pick up a bit on what you just mentioned, one of your PSP candidates, Professor Tan Meng Wah, who is the academic, and he's been railing against this thing called rent tourism. And I can share an example with all the listeners and of course with the candidates as well. I knew of someone who used to run a restaurant at Vivo City. And for that size of the restaurant, she was paying like 100,000 in rent every month, 100,000. And when her lease was up and for renewal, they told her we are going to increase it by another $25,000 more. She says, thank you very much. Take back the restaurant space. Can you imagine that? Because there you are, we are talking this thing about wealth generation or income generation. So they just want to look after the interests of the REITs and all these people. So the rich gets richer. I'm not against people getting rich, but then the policies that have been happening in Singapore so far, it seems to favor only those who have the money. And does it trickle down to the average man on the street? That is one of the big issues going forward for Singaporeans. So how does this wealth trickle down so that everything becomes a more equitable, whereby we have income, inequality is really becoming very bad in Singapore. So these are the challenges that we are facing. Now, the next thing I have is that one of the questions is, are you guys ready to manage the town councils?
Yes, answer is yes. Answer is yes, because we have a very competent, our Dr. Tan Chen Bok is a competent in, he's actually a starter and organize it and run the town council in Jurong East. So basically we have an expert with us. And not only that expertise we have a lot of technical, technology expertise, like Harish is in Tanjung Pagar GRC. He's a he's a technology oriented guy who actually knows how to connect the systems and everything. And we have various expertise in the in PSP with the expertise coming from even Nalla from the financial aspect. Even within, we look into our own area, financial aspect, and then Damien with administrative kind of thing. And of course, Taufik is also a technical in terms of technology oriented person who can be able to connect the system. So where I'm coming from is we have not just one expertise. We have variety of expertise. So running a town council, I would not say it's a big challenge, because if you look at most of us who are seated here in this rally now, basically we all come from a wealth of experiences and exposures with the competencies. And we didn't just parachute it in. If you're parachuted in, then you need to be mindful. But we are not parachuted in because we have been, over the years, have been going rank and files and grooming and taking on projects and exploring other ventures. And look at Kayla, she's running so many companies, such a, fantastic woman. And she's running so many small and medium enterprise companies and chief financial officers. And we, as I say, if you tell me that we are parachuted in, then you need to be very fearful. But we are not parachuted in. We have all the organization skills, the expertise to run a thing, and what to bring in down. And we'll even do a better job. We have fantastic plans even for Nee Soon residents, which you will keep it for a while. I know why sometimes when you let out some messages like Brett said, now you want to give some opportunity to our people in Singapore to give a job and a higher pay, is taken in a wrong context. So we will allow this to be happening in a natural manner, in a more appropriate manner, to unfold how we're going to actually integrate town council even in Nee Soon GRC, whereby a lot of involvement involved in the Nee Soon residents have got a lot of say in it, and they will also be part of the whole process. So there'll be a lot of transparency will be informed to you. So you will not even know when you're paying the money for council charges, you will know where is it going accordingly. You will never even know that we might even save cost of it. Okay, so give us the confidence, give us the support, and we will do it. If you don't give us a chance, we'll never be able to show you. So all we are requesting to you is, please put us there and then do a comparison. If you don't put us there, you cannot compare us with the current ruling party. Am I right now? So you need to put us there, then you compare. Most to most one term, right? Nothing to lose. But anyway, you lasted for 55 years with all the pain and struggle. What are you going to lose? You've got nothing to lose. We're not going to bring you pain and struggle. We're going to make you more meaningful. We're going to do much more things. So just five years. That's it. Thank you very much.
Yes,
You're welcome there, Kayla. Yes, Damien, the floor is yours.
I would also like to stress that we have a lot of people that is helping us and working with us tirelessly behind the scene, who have managed town council before. And Dr. Tan himself, he has managed the town council for Jurong East and the South East CDC, if I'm not wrong. So rest assured that we have lots of experience and lots of people that will be able to take care of the town council. So not to worry about it.
Right. Thank you very much. Damien, was there something you wanted to add on? I saw you raising your hands. Yes, Damien.
I just wanted to let everybody know, at the end of the day, we are also here to make the government work harder. They need to work harder for you. That's why we are here today. Because as we always say in our manifesto, you deserve better. How are we going to make it such that you deserve better? Because we have to make them work harder. Everything in life, we have always been taught, we are not afraid of competition. So why is the government so afraid about competition? Right? Singaporeans are all for competition. What we are afraid of is unfair competition. So we are here today. We present ourselves to you. All of us have our background experiences. And I don't think the town council issues is going to be any major, because even running this election campaign, we have a wonderful team that has been running with us during this campaign. And I can tell you, honestly, from my perspective, as a noob, as a newbie, I cannot imagine that these activities cannot be done, is done on a part-time basis. Looking at how much things are going on in the background, it is really, truly amazing. So my hats off to the team that has been working with us. I think they deserve all the credit. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Anyone else to add on? If not, I just want to highlight to the people who are watching us who may not be aware of it, that when we talk about the town council issues as well, was that after the Workers' Party won the alternate GRC, the software for running the town council system was taken away, and they had to create a new system to run their town council. So, PSP, we have got people who are ready to step up. And it was quite sad that that happened because, right, they took all the software from all the town councils that were developed by public money, and it was transferred to apparently to a $2 paid up company. And then all the town councils that are run by the incumbent had to then lease that software to continue maintaining their town council operations. But then when your Workers' Party or any other alternative political party, if you want to rent, you're not going to get it. So that was one of the things that happened. And also, just for the sake of the residents in Nee Soon, one of the anomalies of the system in Singapore is that you have all your RCs, right? RC, CCC, CCMC, and whatever Cs you have there. Even though in the current system, if the incumbent loses, that means if the PAP MP gets voted out, he or she is still the grassroots advisor to all the RC, CCC, CCMC. So when you guys become the new people representing the Nee Soon GRC and of course including Yio Chu Kang as well for Kayla, you are not having full access to all the different grassroots organizations. I don't know whether this will still be the status quo or whether this will change when you guys get voted into parliament. Because I remember an incident that Pritam Singh mentioned that he took 7 years to get approval to build a ramp for the benefit of the residents in our junior GRC. So, Harish, right, your colleague from Tanjong Pagar, he said you are the new CEO, but the ex-CEO is still having control and the board is not dealing with you, the new CEO. That's so weird, right? Let's hope that this will change and that when you guys come in, you become the new grassroots advisor to all the different organizations within the single member constituency or the GRC.
So,
okay.
Can I just one thing only? That's why we need to have at least 32 seats.
Yes.
Thank you. Please,
That's
please.
right.
This is what we want.
So all the alternative parties combined must win 32 seats. So in case for those of you who forget, to deny the incumbent a 2/3 majority, how many seats must all the alternative political parties win? You take the 2/3 and you flip the number around, it becomes 32 seats. So there's no way to forget how many seats to all the different alternative political parties have to win in this coming general election. Okay, I have a question here, which is probably...
Sorry.
Yes.
Quick, that's on add on. Actually, I just my own humble message to the government. We are not adversaries. Basically, we are for Singapore and for Singaporeans. We want to strengthen the system. We are not here for the sake of opposing the government and all that. If we have viable alternatives, policies and all that, I think the government must be magnanimous for the benefit of Singaporeans. They should accept it. So we are all here for the sake of Singapore, for the benefit of Singaporeans. We are not here for the sake of opposing for opposing sake. So we are here to strengthen the system rather than just be a stumbling block in the system. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Nala. That is sometimes the way the alternative political parties are portrayed, that you are troublemakers. You are here to destroy Singapore, which cannot be further from the truth. Okay, I have a question here from Kenneth Lee Wen Hao. He says, my brother is autistic. A lot of attention is given to elite students, but very little support is given to special needs. Only a handful of schools are available with long waiting lists. What will PSP do to help and support them if your team is voted into parliament? I think, Taufik, you might be in the best position to talk about something like this because please tell the Singaporean voters why you are qualified.
Thank you very much, Greg. Okay, this is a topic that I very close to my heart because I have a 7-year-old son who is diagnosed with autism. So I truly understand and I truly know the concerns on the ground. Okay, first and foremost, I do know that the importance about all these children, the support that they need. It is not easy in terms of emotionally is one thing, financially you need a lot of energy, a lot of time. Where I see some people, some of the families, they cannot even go to work. They have to commit full time to their children because nobody takes care of the children. They go to work, because their children, they can't go to normal school, and they have to go to a specialized, catered school for their type, so that their learning can be customized. Okay, what we aim to do, I hope when we being elected into parliament, what I would like to see is more of such schools being set up. That is very important. And number one, early intervention is very important. And I've also received feedback. I think while talking to the residents and the feedbacks that I received through online, there is not enough of care centers. Because of not enough care centers, and also because those private care centers, they are very, very expensive. They do not have the financial capacity to send them to those privatized care centers. They need more government set up care centers where they can put their kids to those care centers so that they can go to work, find income, and send their kids to proper school and so forth, seek treatment and therapies. So this is something that I would like to see more and more centers and schools being set up for these kinds of students. Yeah, I hope I've.
Sure. Yes. Anyone like to add on from the panel? Yes.
Can I add on?
Yes, Kayla.
That
Yes,
is
Kayla.
the things that why I emphasize to say that public spending should be prudent. This is the best way that build a dual Changi airport. Does Singaporeans really need that jewel? Rather than allocate these resources to the needy people, such like autistic children. This is what I keep emphasizing, that why public spending. Like some of the incumbents say that I'm going to 5 years plan, I'm going to build this for you, build that for you. But does this really need for us? What we need is really understand what the resident needs and tackle on that issue, such like this group of people and the elderly and homeless. This is what we really want to emphasize.
Just to add on with Kayla, we also review on the scholarship given to foreigners. I believe you also could actually do some savings from there. And what is the rationale of this scholarship given? And if everything's fully sponsored, and this is something, another point that a lot of Singaporeans are feeling. Even our own children who are actually qualified to be in our own universities never get an opportunity. So not only talking about special needs kids, I think they really need the kind of attention and the kind of support. I can empathize that what the parents are going through financially, emotionally, and physically. So basically, yes, the scholarship is one thing. And the other thing is, I think it's a very sensitive issue to talk about, but I would like to also bring it up, that is also the ministerial pay, the salary. It's also another thing that we can look into it to see whether how we can really save costs at all angles to give an equal playing field for everyone, especially for our special needs kids. And it is not sinful for them to be like that. And they have been in this world, and it's our responsibility. We need to take accountability for these people because the parents are going through so much of challenge. And I know I've seen many of my participants, their children, what they're going through and the parents are going through. I believe that we need to go forward and do something meaningful for these children to be inclusive into the society. I repeat the word, to be inclusive in the society as part and parcel of us. So please should not be excluded. So these are the areas. We got more areas we can go in to save costs, definitely. So we are coming up with all the plans. We will hold back some of the things. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
To add on to Kayla, I also would like to to emphasize that we should stop our focus on funding foreign students and stop inviting them to come and study here, where all their education fees and expenses are sponsored. This money should be invested in Singaporeans, like what I mentioned before. We should invest in our people, grow our people. This is very important.
Thank you, Taufik.
Craig, I just want to highlight, actually, Progress Singapore Party's motto is to progress with compassion. So the benefits, we have all this GDP growth and all that, it must filter all the way through the whole strata of society. No point having a GDP growth where 40-50% of Singaporeans don't feel it. So actually to relate to a story, a few days ago in our walkabout, we met a Nee Soon resident. She had a subnormal kid. So, she find things very tough to make ends meet. So she went to see an MP to at least, probably at least increase Comcare payouts. But sadly, the MP told her, we can't increase the Comcare payout unless she's wheelchair bound. So she got very upset, instead of being empathetic towards her cause, telling her, she'd be more handicapped, then only you can increase the Comcare benefit. So I think on the compassionate front, Progress Singapore Party is all for it. I think we need to be an inclusive society for all Singaporeans, and every Singaporean matters. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. A question from a gentleman called Louis Lam. It says, over the past few days, a lot of policy positions became clearer. Example, no to the 10 million population. I hope that it is not only during election time that these positions come clear. How can we ensure that this happens moving forward? I don't want to wait until election time for these concerns to clear up. So that's again, of course, there was a denial by the incumbent that they wanted to grow the Singapore population to 10 million during the TV debate and all these things that happened after that. But then a lot of evidence came online to say that they had plans for it. So who is going to get POFMAT? Yes, Brad, your turn.
Can I answer that then? Yeah, well, we've got a little, I don't have him in front of me now, but we have a little character, Otika. Our otter, our mascot, and it stands for openness, transparency, independence, compassion, and accountability. Obviously, we've talked. Yeah, Taufik was showing him there. Compassion, we've talked a lot about already, but the other ones: openness, transparency, independence, and accountability. But the only way that those things will be brought into the system is if we get more alternative voices into the system. Right, so at least, as people have said many times, 2/3, 32, right? We get enough voices in there, questions get asked, they have to answer the questions. Eventually, they have to answer the questions. With enough people asking in enough different ways, there's so many ways you can flip the prata before it has to land somewhere and we get to see something. So get those voices into Parliament, then we can start on the openness, the transparency, the independence and the accountability. And that's how we get these figures out there and we don't wait. And also, I mean, is it 10 million or is it not 10 million? We've seen URA were doing plans for an underground city and 10.5 million. You've had the HDB guy talking about it. The numbers are all over the place. And they even, I think, at night said we weren't even looking for 6.9. I seem to remember a rally at Hong Lim Park not too long ago because of a white paper which talked about 6.9 million. So get the voices into Parliament and we can uncover all these things, and then we can find out what we really need to know and the decisions we need to make going forward to run our country more effectively.
I think, Greg, if you look at it recently, because of a lot of opposition, that means a lot of alternate voices are coming forward. Do you notice that something is happening now? Even a single parent getting a house was not possible for many, many, many years when people have outcries and all this stuff. And recently in March, they have actually came up with approval that single parents could have a house with a child. So where I'm coming from is, it is actually, the process is very slow because not many people in the Parliament, the alternative voices. If you have 32 members in the Parliament, I'm telling you, it will not taking years. It will take just months or maybe weeks. So please think about it. We are not saying that we want to take over the government. We are trying to say if you're happy with the government, let them be there. When the Singaporeans are ready to change the government, they can change. But now we are looking forward to the 32 seats. And that will actually help everyone. I think it's a win-win situation. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. So please look in that angle and place your vote wisely and diligently so that we can continue to be a wisest to have all the policies that we think that benefits the people. So this election is critical. Please come forward in a courageous manner. Thank you.
Thank you very much there, Kayla. And we are almost down to the last final minute right now. I'd just like to suggest this to all the viewers who are watching watching us live on Zoom and on Facebook. You know, someone, I think it was Einstein, who said he defined insanity very, very well. He said that doing the same thing over and over, but expecting a different result. That is the definition of insanity. So are you going to keep giving them the super majority they have in Parliament and expecting them to do things differently? There's also a very famous saying that the leopard can never change its spots. So Singaporeans, come the 10th of July, vote wisely and give this team from Nee Soon GRC and all the other GRCs that PSP are contesting, including all the SMCs, a chance to represent you in Parliament and bring about the changes that we so desperately need for our country. Now, before I wrap up for this evening, I would want to give the last 1 minute to each of the candidates here from PSP to tell you why you should vote them in the coming general election. We'll start with Damien. Damien, start it, please. It's yours. The floor is yours for the next 1 minute. I'm timing you.
Thank you. Nee Soon residents, these election is important, not only for us, but for your future and for your children's future. We are here today because we feel that the government definitely has lost its way. We want Singapore to go back to where it was. We want to show Singaporeans that we are here for you. We are here to make sure that the government works even harder, takes a closer look at their policies, make sure that whatever policies that they do implement, it is for and only the benefit of Singaporeans and not just for the select few. So please vote wisely and vote for PSP in Nee Soon GRC. Vote for our team in Nee Soon GRC. We will ensure and we will promise that we will look after you. Thank you.
All right, excellent there. Wow, just under 1 minute, 55.7 seconds there. Damien, that was an excellent timing there. And the next person I'd like to bring on, your 1 minute is there. Nala, please. Thank you.
Thanks, Craig. Dear Nee Soon voters, the choice is in your hands. Do you want another 5 years after giving them a strong mandate in 2015? Is your life better now? Do you want change? And do you want a better team with sincerity and willing to work hard to better your life? The choice is right now before you. If you feel and you can trust us and we are sincere, please vote for the palm tree. The 5 fronts of the palm tree are basically: first, priority for jobs for Singaporeans; 2, you will try to manage your cost of living; 3, better housing policy; 4, adequate retirement policy; and last but not least, better comcare benefits for those who have fallen between the cracks. So please support us, and we are here there for you. We'll roll up our sleeves and we will not let you down. Thank you.
Wow, lovely. You just exceeded by 3 seconds there. Nala, very good. 1 minute and 3 seconds. The next person I'd like to bring on is Taufik. The floor is yours, Taufik. Take it away.
Residents of Nee Soon and all citizens of Singapore, I, my Nee Soon team, PSP, we want to build Singapore where Singaporeans are prioritized in every aspect, especially in terms of policy and decision making. And Singaporeans are treated equally with respect. Let's be that catalyst for that change to make life better for all of us. Let's not waste this opportunity to make a difference. Let's be brave and do the right thing. Let's make things right again. Let's turn back Singapore where Singaporeans are prioritized in every aspect. Let's make the change we all need. Please give me and PSP your support. Vote for us, vote for PSP. You deserve better. For country, for people. Terima kasih.
Wow, power lah, brother. It was 57.97 seconds on my timer there. And that was Taufik. Okay, let's see. Who do we have next coming up? Let me reset my timer here. And after Taufik, yeah, of course, the one that needs no introduction as well. The one that's going to take on the sham. Here is Kayla. Floor is yours, Kayla.
Hi, Singaporeans, and especially my dear Nee Soon residents. I just want to say something. Let's have excitement in our life. It's very boring the last 55 years with just one voice talking and people are sleeping. I think it's time for us to wake up them. So how to wake them up? How to then keep them on the toes? You need to have 32 people inside there. So you need to put us in there so that we will make the whole parliament excitement to the extent you will never see one person is sleeping, because we're going to be our voices. And every one of us will ask questions and make sure they will think on a fit and straight away to answer. That's one. First thing. Second thing, job. So when you talk about job, the foreigners out. I'm not saying foreigners out, sorry, don't misunderstand me. What I'm trying to say is that those foreigners who are actually occupying our Singaporeans' jobs, okay, literally they have to be reviewed. And of course, we will give it to the Singaporean first. And job is a very important thing because our parents have spent so much of money educating our children, and they need to have the right job, the right skills, and with the right minimum living wages which should be given to them. So we are not given the right wages to the people to the respective skill sets. So that's the second one. Third thing, education, education, education. Education is the cornerstone of the country, and we need to make sure education from the young to the adult, not skills qualification, getting a skills qualification in a classroom and then get a certificate and say I'm competent. I'm sorry. So it doesn't mean you have so many years of experience and you're going through a classroom attending a training doesn't mean you're competent. Competency comes in a workplace. So that's the third thing that we're going to work on. So basically, we want to have excitement. Please make an excitement and make an history in the world for once that Singaporeans, we are courageous and compassionate and we will do it all the way. Singaporeans, Nee Soon residents especially, we are there for you. Thank you very much.
All right, lovely. So, Carla, you've used up the time meant for Brett and Kayla. So, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, next we have is Brett Bowyer. The floor is yours, Brett.
What's my timing?
I know, it's amazing, right? I mean, I think what I've got to say then, obviously to everyone who's watching, especially the Nee Soon residents, I hope you've seen tonight between the five of us and also Kayla in her area, and for those who've watched across the board what's come out of Progress Singapore Party, we have a strong slate of candidates. We have passion for this country, and we are totally and 100% dedicated to changing things and getting them back on the track that they should be. But what I would like you to do is to think back. What happened in 2011? There was a watershed there, and the first GRC went down to an alternative party. The share of the votes went down to just over 60%, and everything changed. We had a national conversation. We had all sorts of changes in policies. Life improved. 2015, yes, we had SG50. Unfortunately, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew passed on. There were many factors. They got more of the votes, 69.9%. What has happened since then? I think the cost of virtually everything in our country has gone up. We had the travesty of the elected presidency. We've seen more and more unaccountability, and now we are forced into a COVID election. I think if you look at it all, you have to know, can you trust these people with a supermajority anymore? Or do you need alternative voices? Do you need to, in a way, put them in their place and say, wake up, we're here, we need you to serve us, not to serve yourselves. And I believe all of you are very smart, very educated, and you will make very wise decisions. As the PM said when he was launching this whole thing, it is a critical time and we have to make critical decisions. And even though the captain of the ship has asked for a new mandate right in the middle of the storm, instead of actually sailing you out of it safely, I think that is the thing you need to focus. It's a critical time. Make sure you have alternative voices and vote for Progress Singapore Party to be 24 of those 32 voices in Parliament. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brett. And last but not least, the SMC candidate for Yio Chu Kang. Kayla, the floor is yours.
I'm here for the Yio Chu Kang residents. I will listen to you and work hard to improve your life. I want to improve Yio Chu Kang estate cleanliness. I want to hear your feedback and give me a chance to serve you. Vote for me, vote for PSP, for country, for people. Thank you.
Right, thank you there. That was Kayla from the SMC of Yio Chu Kang. So guys and girls, we have exceeded by about 5 to 6 minutes, but I'm sure the viewers on Facebook Live and on Zoom wouldn't mind, and they will love to have seen. I mean, I'm sure they're loving every moment of this, right? You guys speaking with so much passion and conviction, asking them for them to vote for you on the 10th of July. Okay, 10th of July is a Friday. So you guys, when you go and make the thing, remember to cross on the palm tree. Nothing else, okay? Vote them into Parliament and let them do the job for you. And just a gentle reminder, especially for the residents in Yio Chu Kang and also for GRC Nee Soon, if you want to know a lot more about your candidates, go and take a look at their up close and personal videos, which are available on YouTube. You just type up close and personal PSP, and you can get to know all your candidates better. They have bet their soul, they've told you everything there is to know about them, nothing to hide. So once again, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us here this evening for our e-rally, the second one. Tomorrow, there'll be another one happening, and that'll be for Choa Chu Kang and Hong Kong North. But to the great team here that is from Nee Soon and the SMC of Yio Chu Kang, Thank you very much, guys. And thank you one and all for being with us here this evening. My name is Craig, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love to everyone, and have a wonderful weekend. Wave bye-bye to everyone, please. Thank you. Bye. Chye. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah. Vote PSP. Thank you.
We hope you've enjoyed our e-rally session. Our next PSP e-rally session with candidates from Yio Chu Kang GRC, Hong Kong SMC, Manickam SMC will be happening tomorrow at 8 p.m. Good night, everybody.
Are we allowed to talk?
Fantastic. Can we talk now?
Can we talk now?
Off the video.
The video still
mute. Everyone, mute first, please. Thank you.
Send a stronger voice into Parliament to put things right again.
Lower cost of living, make housing affordable.
Good jobs for our citizens and easy living for our poor.
Progress Singapore, this is our party. Progress Singapore, or simply PSP. Progress Singapore, it's for you and me. For country, for people, for PSP. We don't want our country to be run like a company.
Public goods and services are not meant to make money.
Better healthcare system, tax scheme that helps the poor.
Education that grooms our kids.
Compassionate Singapore.
Progress Singapore, this is our party. Progress Singapore, or simply PSP. Progress Singapore, it's for you and me. For country, for people, vote PSP. Progress Singapore, this is our party. Progress Singapore, or simply PSP. Progress Singapore, it's for you and me. For country, for people.
Vote PSP.
低生活负担，让国家合理合一，共享安居乐业，有扶贫穷年劳公益。前进新加坡，大家的胜利，前进新加坡，高喊 PSP， 前进新加坡，属于我和你，为国家为人民，候选 PSP。
是赚钱的工具，
公平完善医疗福利，最受策略不平民，教育年少的下一代，开创美好新天地。前进新加坡，大家的胜利，前进新加坡，高喊 PSP。前进新加坡，属于我和你，为国家为人民，候选 PSP。新加坡，大家的胜利，前进新加坡，高喊 PSP。前进新加坡，属于我和你，为国家为人民，候选 PSP。 Sempurna, maju Singapura, ini parti kami. Maju Singapura, parti PSP. Maju Singapura, Anda dan kami, untuk negara, untuk rakyat, bunyi PSP. Kesehatan yang baik, skim tunai untuk si miskin, pendidikan yang membina, Singapura penuh belas. Maju Singapura, ini parti kami. Maju Singapura, parti PSP. Maju Singapura, Anda dan kami, untuk negara, untuk rakyat, bunyi PSP. Singapura, ini parti kami. Maju Singapura, anda dan kami, untuk negara, untuk rakyat. Bunyi PSP.